talk to Andrew Morton, talk to Tom Bauer. All of these people that have written books about her have been like, it's a struggle to get to the truth of who this female was.
What if I told you the biggest royal scandal of our generation isn't what you've been told? What if the real story, the one that could bring down the entire monarchy, has been hidden in plain sight all this time? Meghan is hardly innocent. She's down in the dirt with me whether she likes it or not. These are allegedly the words of Prince Andrew, and right now, according to insider sources, Meghan Markle is reportedly in full panic mode. You need to know the story you're about to hear is not gentle in any way. It's explosive. It's disturbing. And it connects. The palace has desperately tried to keep separated. Prince Andrew is speaking, and what he's saying could destroy everything Meghan has built. Are you ready to discover what the palace has been hiding? Because once you hear this, you'll never see the royal family the same way again. But first, we need to go back to where it all began, to a scandal that rocked the world and destroyed one prince's life, while another royal connection remained mysteriously untouched. Andrew's downfall wasn't small. It began with breaking news from Buckingham Palace confirming Prince Andrew would be stripped of his royal titles and forced to step away from royal life. It wasn't private. It wasn't gentle. It was global. His close ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Some of the victims of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein are demanding the release of all the files relating to the case.
And the serious claims involving Virginia Roberts crushed his public standing overnight. The BBC prepared to air a powerful hour-long interview with Virginia Roberts Giuffre, while ABC's Julia McFarlane reported live from London. Can you imagine it? One day you are a prince with titles, respect, and royal privilege. The next, everything is stripped away, titles removed, doors closed, his royal future erased in plain sight. The world watched. The press reported it relentlessly. The palace acted swiftly and decisively. But this is where the story takes a strange turn, one that should make you stop and question everything you've been told. If Andrew was destroyed because of Epstein, why was there complete silence surrounding Meghan Markle's alleged connection to the same world? Think about it, same circles, same timeline, same social orbit, yet two completely different outcomes. Point one, royal punished and exiled. The other protected and elevated. No headlines about Meghan. No pressure. No investigation. Nothing. It doesn't make sense. It's as if a wall of silence was deliberately placed around Meghan's past, as if certain topics were locked away on purpose. And that silence, that calculated silence, is exactly what makes this story so explosive. Silence doesn't mean innocence. Silence means someone doesn't want the truth discussed. Have you ever wondered why some scandals explode while others quietly disappear? Why some people are held accountable while others walk free? Because this pattern only gets more disturbing. And it leads us to the next shocking layer, one that completely changes how we view Meghan's history, the secret connection. Before Harry, before the wedding, before the headlines, before the world knew her name, sources claim Meghan had a not-so-secret personal relationship with Prince Andrew, not a distant acquaintance, not a casual greeting at a public event, a close connection. According to those familiar with the situation, Andrew reportedly told friends he knew Meghan long before she became a duchess and that their relationship was far more personal than the public was ever told. This is the part no one talks about, the part scrubbed from the narrative, the part that changes everything about how Meghan entered the royal world. Because if Meghan and Andrew truly had a direct relationship, then she wasn't an outsider stepping into royalty. She was already connected, already embedded, already positioned. And that raises questions the palace never answered. How did they meet? How close were they really? What was the true nature of their relationship? Why was it never acknowledged publicly? And most importantly, why was this hidden when Andrew's scandal came crashing down? If Andrew fell because of his associations, and Meghan was allegedly part of the same circle, why did only one of them take the hit? Was someone protecting her? Was the palace afraid of something bigger coming out? Or was her past considered too dangerous to expose? Whatever the reason, this chapter of her history was sealed, locked away behind layers of palace protection and media silence. Until now. And the next clue takes us somewhere unexpected, onto the water and straight into Epstein's world. The yacht photos. Karina Shuliak, Jeffrey Epstein's last known girlfriend, stated publicly that the only time she flew on private planes or yachts was with Epstein. These were not casual trips. They were part of his private world, his inner circle. Now here's where Meghan enters the picture. In 2014, photos surfaced showing Meghan on a private luxury yacht, not a public cruise, not a charity event, but a setting that mirrored the same elite environment Shuliak described. When you connect that to her alleged past relationship with Andrew, the picture becomes unsettling. Same timelines, same circles, same power structures. This doesn't look like coincidence. It looks like proximity. And proximity matters. Especially when a scandal explodes and one person is destroyed while another walks away untouched. If Andrew was condemned for being in that world, then Meghan's presence near that orbit raises a chilling question. What did she know, and why was it never discussed? The yacht is more than a photo. It's a doorway into a part of Meghan's life that was never explained, never questioned, and never addressed publicly. And that silence is where the real story begins. Because the closer you look, the clearer it becomes that Meghan wasn't standing near the storm, she was standing inside it. Then there is Virginia Roberts Giuffre. As Andrew's scandal dominated global headlines, Virginia stood at the center of it all. Her claims helped bring his world crashing down. And according to circulating insider claims, Virginia reportedly wanted Meghan Markle called as a witness, not because she was famous, not because she married Harry, but because she was allegedly considered a close past associate of Prince Andrew. That phrase carries weight. It suggests someone believed Meghan was not a stranger to Andrew's private world. If she truly had nothing to do with it, why would her name even be mentioned? Witnesses are not chosen randomly. Yet when the legal pressure mounted, Meghan was never called. Her name vanished from the conversation. As if someone erased that chapter of her life, but silence doesn't erase history. It only buries it. And the deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes that Meghan was already touching elite power long before she ever met Prince Harry, which leads to the next question. How did she gain access to those circles in the first place? Marcus Anderson and Soho House. When Meghan moved to Toronto to film Suits, she wasn't yet royal, she wasn't global. She was an ambitious actress without direct access to the world's most powerful rooms. And that's where this story takes its next turn. That changed fast, very fast. According to sources, something significant happened when she arrived in Toronto. Marcus Anderson entered her life. Who is Marcus Anderson? A senior figure connected to Soho House, the private exclusive network known for high-profile members, secret events, and elite connections spanning continents. Anderson didn't just meet Meghan casually at a party. He reportedly recruited her, brought her into the inner circle, and introduced her to the highest levels of Toronto society. He opened doors most people never even see, doors leading to wealth, influence, and power through him. She allegedly connected with influential figures including Jessica Mulroney, and expanded into circles linked to New York's wealth and power elite. This wasn't random socializing. It was positioning, strategic, calculated, and deliberate. Point 1 introduction led to another. Point 1 circle opened the next. Point 1 network unlocked powerful access. Before long, Meghan wasn't just an actress on a cable show, she was networking with people connected to royalty, wealth, and the kind of power that opens palace doors. By the time her name ever entered Harry's world, Meghan had already stepped into elite environments tracing toward royalty, wealth, and according to earlier claims, Prince Andrew's orbit. Her rise wasn't overnight luck. It was constructed, engineered, and guided. And the closer she moved toward power, the more her path intersected with names that would later become explosive. But here's where the story takes its darkest turn. Because according to sources, Harry wasn't Meghan's first royal focus, someone else was. The Andrew target theory: someone older, someone already inside the palace, someone tied to Epstein. Prince Andrew. Yes, before Harry ever entered the picture, sources claim Meghan had her sights set on Prince Andrew, not as a mentor, not as a friend, but allegedly as a romantic and strategic target. This changes everything. It suggests she wasn't drifting through elite society hoping to be noticed. She was aiming upward, calculating, positioning herself for proximity to titles, status, and royal access. But standing between Meghan and Andrew was one formidable woman, Sarah Ferguson, Fergie. Andrew's ex-wife, gatekeeper, and long-standing protector of his royal space. According to claims, Fergie blocked Meghan from getting close enough to Andrew to pursue anything further. That barrier forced a pivot, a recalculation, a new strategy. If Andrew was unreachable, another path into the monarchy was needed. That's where fate or strategy shifted. Meghan didn't expect to end up with Harry. But when the opportunity appeared, she took it, and once she had Harry's attention, she didn't let go. What began as a claimed plan centered on Andrew transformed into the biggest royal leap of the century. Meghan didn't just enter the royal family, she married into its heart. She became a duchess, she gained global attention. She placed herself at the center of the world's most powerful institution. And that move changed everything, not just for her but for the monarchy, for Harry, and for the secrets now lurking in the shadows. Because the next chapter brings us to the fallout, the realization, the cover-up, and the truth powerful enough to destroy it all. Harry's realization. When Harry married Meghan, he believed he had found freedom, love, and a partner outside the royal machine. He thought he was escaping palace control and entering a life built on honesty. But according to sources, that belief didn't last. Whispers reached him, quiet comments, old stories, hidden connections. Mentions of Meghan's past linked to Prince Andrew long before Harry ever met her. At first, he refused to believe it. He defended her fiercely. He cut himself off from family members who tried to warn him. He labeled them jealous, controlling, and cruel. But eventually, something shifted. According to palace insiders, Harry stopped hearing rumors and started accepting truths he didn't want to face. He realized the warnings weren't jealousy, they were truth. And that truth hit him hard. Sources say Harry became distant, disgusted, and overwhelmed. Unable to escape questions about Meghan's undisclosed past. He felt trapped, isolated, and emotionally cornered. For him, this wasn't just scandal. It was betrayal. If Meghan once aimed for Andrew instead of him, then Harry wasn't chosen for love. He was chosen for access, and that realization shattered him. While Harry crumbled privately, the palace moved publicly. The palace cover-up. You would expect headlines, investigations, and non-stop coverage. But instead there was silence, strategic, deliberate silence. According to claims, this silence was driven by fear for Harry's mental state, fear of a second Epstein-style explosion, fear of exposing palace incompetence. So the truth was buried. No questions. No investigations. Meghan was protected not because exposure was harmless, but because exposure could burn the monarchy down. And while the palace shielded her, one man was left isolated, angry, and ready to break: Prince Andrew. Andrew's breaking point, his reputation destroyed, his titles stripped, his future erased. All while someone who allegedly shared his world walked away untouched. According to sources, Andrew is furious, bitter, and done being the sole scapegoat. He feels he took the fall while others were protected. And now, he's ready to talk. Not for justice, but for revenge. And sources claim he isn't alone. Sarah Ferguson is aligned with him. Together they reportedly hold knowledge about Meghan's past, her connection to Andrew, and the hidden chapters the palace has kept quiet for years. For the first time, the danger doesn't come from the press. It doesn't come from activists or investigators. It comes from inside the royal family itself. A man silenced for years. A man with nothing left to protect. A man who could detonate the truth with a single statement. And the moment Andrew speaks, even once, everything changes. Because once he talks, silence can no longer protect Meghan, the palace can no longer control the narrative, and the monarchy itself could face its greatest crisis in modern history. This brings us to the most explosive point of all, the truth that could end everything, the vetting failure. But before the final revelation, we must address what the palace never once discussed. How did Meghan pass royal vetting? The British royal family operates one of the most sophisticated intelligence and security systems in the world. MI5, MI6, Scotland Yard, private investigators, all involved. And when someone marries a prince, the scrutiny becomes extreme. Decades-long background checks, financial records, relationship histories, social connections, all examined closely. So how did Meghan's alleged connection to Andrew never surface? How did her presence in elite circles linked to Epstein never raise alarms? There are only three explanations, and none are good. First, gross incompetence. The vetting teams missed everything. If true, it means palace security is dangerously flawed. Second, deliberate concealment. Someone knew and chose to hide or downplay it out of fear, pressure, or loyalty. If true, the palace is complicit. Third, they knew and didn't care. They believed her fame and image were worth the risk and that the past could be buried. If true, the palace gambled with its reputation and lost. Whichever explanation you believe, it proves one thing beyond doubt: the palace failed. And now the dominoes are falling. Once Andrew speaks, it won't stop at one revelation. Scandals don't unfold that way. One voice empowers another. One detail unlocks more. And sources suggest if Andrew confirms Meghan's presence in his social world, others will follow: staff, event organizers, associates, photographers, people who stayed silent out of fear. Once the wall cracks, everything pours out, and the palace knows it can't control this narrative. This time the source wouldn't be a tabloid or outsider. It would be Prince Andrew himself. His words carry weight, and if he chooses an interview, a book, or even a statement, the damage would be catastrophic. Calling him a liar would only provoke evidence, names, dates, and specifics. It's a no-win situation. And the senior royals know it. That's why they've quietly distanced themselves, building firewalls, creating separation, preparing for impact. Every secret has a breaking point. And that moment is coming. According to sources, one truth exists held by Andrew, and reportedly by Fergie and Princess Eugenie as well. A truth tied to Meghan's past. A truth tied to the Epstein orbit. A truth explaining the palace's silence. If it comes out, Meghan doesn't just lose status, she loses everything: her image, her influence, her narrative, and the monarchy itself could be shaken to its core. Because according to these claims, Meghan didn't stumble into royalty, she positioned herself strategically, and if Andrew breaks his silence, the modern royal fairy tale collapses. Then comes the response. Why Meghan is panicking. Why the palace is frozen, why Harry is reportedly unraveling, and why Catherine and King Charles have acted. According to palace sources, Catherine has stepped into calm, strategic leadership, working closely with Charles, preparing for every scenario, protecting William from an impossible position, and Charles has reportedly decided on a quiet but permanent removal of Harry and Meghan from remaining royal influence. Invitations fade, access closes, support dries up. The monarchy is bracing for impact. They know it's coming. When Andrew speaks, the world won't just hear confession. It will witness history rewriting itself. And this is only the beginning. Once the silence breaks, it won't just implicate Meghan. It will raise questions about Harry, the palace, the media, and everyone who knew and stayed quiet. The reckoning will be collective. And that's why this has been buried for so long. But truth doesn't stay buried forever. And when it surfaces, nothing will be the same. This has been Royal Daily Report. If you found this investigation eye-opening, subscribe, like, and share. Do you believe Andrew is telling the truth, or is this revenge? Did the palace fail its vetting, or was this unavoidable? Is Harry a victim or complicit? Drop your thoughts below. Because the silence is breaking, the walls are cracking, and the truth is coming. Stay informed. The game is about to end.